Hey guys, welcome back to another upSchool video. Today our lesson will be on CBSE Class 7 Science Chapter 4 Heat. This is the part 1 lesson of this chapter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more easy free upSchool tutorials on CBSE, factual info, current affairs, and coding, and more. So first, let's just talk about what exactly is heat. Our chapter is about heat, but what is heat? Well, you may think of heat as fire or maybe the sun, and you are correct, but heat is actually an energy. Or technically speaking, heat is an energy that is transferred between objects with different temperatures. So what do I mean by this? Suppose you put a pot over the stove, and that pot has water inside. Well, you see, the heat, which in this case is the heat that is coming from the stove, all that heat is going up, and that is what making the pot hot. You see the heat in the pot, that heat is going up, and that heat is being transferred to the pot. So the heat from the stove has transferred its energy to one object. So let's say I put a spoon inside the pot. Well, the spoon will become hot since you put it inside the pot, and if you put it inside the hot pot, or anything you put inside the pot will become hot, because the heat from the pot has been transferred to the spoon. Or the heat from the stove has transferred its energy to two objects. The heat from the stove has transferred its energy to the pot, which is why the pot became hot, and because the pot became hot, everything inside the pot becomes hot. As you can see in this diagram, the heat from the stove has transferred its energy to the pot. Now the pot is hot. And now that the pot is hot, it transfers its energy to the spoon. So now the spoon is hot. This example matches the definition of heat, an energy that is transferred between objects with different temperatures. Our heat is the heat that comes from the stove, and that energy transfers heat between objects, which in this case was the pot and the spoon. So now let's begin our lesson. So the first part is 4.1, hot and cold. We can easily tell whether an object is hot or cold by using our sense of taste and touch. But our sense of taste and touch isn't always reliable to find out whether an object is hot or cold. So a thermometer is the most reliable object to find out whether an object is hot or cold. And I'm talking about the real thermometers, not the electronic ones, but the ones where you can actually see the mercury inside, because thermometers are made of mercury. So there's two types of thermometers, and in 4.2 we're going to be talking about clinical thermometers. Now clinical thermometers are the ones that we use for our body, and most likely the ones that doctors have. The range of a clinical thermometer is only 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And the range is really small because it's used for the body. And the average temperature for a body is 37 degrees Celsius, or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, that range is good enough to find out the temperature of the human body. So 4.3 talks about laboratory thermometers. Now laboratory thermometers, you probably won't see this in your house, and hence the name, you only find them in labs. And that's why it's range is from -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Its range is really high. Really high because since they use the thermometer for experiments, they need um, this range. So in 4.4, we are going to be talking about the transfer of heat. So this is an example from the NCERT Class 7 Science Chapter 4 Heat book. So suppose you have a metal rod, and below the metal rod, below the tip of the metal rod is a candle, and the candle is lit. But why are the wax droplets of the candle falling away from the actual candle? Shouldn't those droplets be falling where the arrow is pointed? Because the heat is obviously the fire lit on the candle. But why are the wax pieces way over here? Well, this is called conduction. If we notice over here, it's like the heat moved to the right. It's like the heat from the fire of the candle has moved to the left, and that's why all the wax droplets are over there. But how can heat move on a metal rod? How can it move to the left? Well, this is called conduction, and conduction is when heat moves through the conductor. But what's the conductor? Well, you see the metal rod? You see, heat can only move across a conductor, and a conductor is the object that allows heat to pass through it. Only some objects are conductors, such as this metal rod. Basically, conductors allow heat to go through it. As you can see here, the heat from the candle is moving, and that's why the wax droplets are over there. A conductor allows heat to move. So there are types of conductors. One of them is metal. Metal is a great heat conductor, and so is copper. And poor conductors, or materials that don't allow heat to pass through it, like for example water. Instead of the metal rod in our example over here, if you put water, heat will not move across water, right? It just can't. Those are called poor conductors. And another word for poor conductors are insulators. And other types of insulators, besides water, is air and wood. That's why in a fireplace they have wood, because they don't want the fire to expand and burn up their house. They put wood because it's a poor conductor, it won't allow heat to pass through it, and it'll cool down the fire. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more upSchool, CBSE, factual info, current affairs, coding, and more videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget to share this video to all your friends. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to be explaining 4.5 of this lesson. And yeah, CBSE Class 7, Chapter 4, Heat, Part 2 will be coming up soon. And we're going to be talking about 4.5, which is basically talking about how black colors absorb heat and warm colors reflect heat. So, as I said, hope you guys enjoy this video. And yeah, this is upSchool, signing off. Greatness starts